So my foot planted this right in there as I was turning in between the elevator and the stage. So it shut, sling. So I'm stepped over in the flames going, ah! I'm holding the goblet.
Oh, man.
So they cut away when I'm going, ah!
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my friend, Gangrel.
You know what? Let me give it back to you, because thank you. We couldn't do this without you.
And I don't get to do these very often. We are live here at the Independent Wrestling Expo. Yeah, how do you like that? Yeah, thank you.
Fancy there, man.
I like that you got the fangs in for this.
Fangs and a vampire tan.
Yeah, this is it.
Tanpire.
I think that Tanpire.
Tanpire. I'm changing things, man.
I think that people thought, like there were rumors that you actually had like actual fangs implanted into your mouth.
I did.
You did?
I did, but not in WWF.
Okay.
Prior. 90, 94, 95, 96-ish, I had fangs permanent.
Wow. Okay, so what's in your mouth right now?
Fangs.
Okay. All right. Well, there we go.
This is more of a clasp. Like, anybody knows anything about a retainer?
Okay.
It's a spider clasp.
Yeah. And right before we...
These are the same ones since 98, though.
Oh, these are the actual WWE ones.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I went through a few when I first started there, then I figured these out.
Wow.
But they get loose. They're loose now. I have to fix the denim up, you know.
Nice. You look good, though.
Oh, well, you too. California suits you well.
Thank you. It's very kind of you
In-N-Out
to
Burger
say.
work out for you there?
Oh, my gosh. Don't even start.
You guys need to tell them it's Whataburger. You got to tell them it's Whataburger.
No,
I even
don't
commented. I said it was Whataburger. And you're like, you don't mess with In-N-Out. It's Whataburger. That's the spot, right?
There's an In-N-Out down the street from my house, and I've been there far too many times already.
They don't even want to give you a bag or buy. It's craziness.
I
like my stuff packaged and handed to me properly.
We could go all day about the best burgers.
Whataburger.
You are looking like you're... Wow, we're getting a plot. We are in Texas right now. You're in fantastic shape. And
I wouldn't say that looking at this camera, but thank you.
No, it's
It's
true.
not a good angle, but thank you.
It's a good angle.
It works for you. It's your camera.
You're still working a ton. Obviously, COVID's probably changed a little bit for you,
Yeah.
but you're still in the ring a lot.
Yeah, I was scheduled up to this COVID situation in March to be like, to be honest, to not even sound cheeky or funny or anything, but I was going to make more money than I did in my base contract in WWE on the independent scene this year. Then COVID hit, boom, with a roaring elbow, like, rah, a vicious KO. But the school was weathered the roaring elbow of COVID. The school's weathered it, but I'm still working. Last week I was in at Crown Point, Indiana. I did a show. Here today, New York tomorrow. So very blessed to be working. So I pulled through it and made it. But I was super, super busy, super blessed. And I was working Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sundays shows, and then running the school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or a Thursday, depending upon travel. Yeah.
You've got two big things when you work an indie show that people want to see and hear. The entrance music, for sure. And then the spitting of the blood, of course.
Right, which I got to ask about that tonight.
I know that when you do the spitting of the blood, you basically say to the promoter, all right, if you want me to do this, you've got to provide me with a shirt.
Well, no, I don't. I say if you want me to wear the white shirt, you get the white shirt. So what I'll do, to any promoter that's even listening, I have nothing against the white shirt. They don't make them the same. They don't look the same. I don't like them.
This is the Jerry Seinfeld pirate shirt.
I like my original Seinfeld pirate version, but they look more now like the Seinfeld shirt now than they did the ones I was wearing in Hot Topics Morbid, but they changed the style. But I have nothing against them because, when you work shows like this, you're getting different rings. This one has white ropes, per se. You're getting rings with black ropes. What do? They spray the ropes, or the canvases don't get clean. It's not the blood itself. The blood is the stage blood. It'll come out. But I just would run through. Once I started doing indies, I'd run through a shirt a night. It was just like you couldn't get them clean. They looked dingy. It just wasn't the same. So I moved over to black. But I do tell promoters if they ask, if you want to hunt a shirt down, no matter how awful it is, you get the shirt. I'll wear it. I'll sign it, leave it with you. You can auction it off or do whatever you want to a charity, yourself, or whoever.
But they have to provide the shirt.
I'm not hunting it down anymore, and I'm not putting the $40 out every day.
What happens?
I am a cheap vampire, by the way.
What happens when you go through TSA with vampire blood?
Ice, what's up, girl?
That's it?
I believe every TSA agent is a fan of pro wrestling.
Okay.
Well, I carry... I break it down. I don't carry like gallons of blood. Like I carry the shampoo bottle, the gimmick size, within the law.
And I know you've got a flavor that you like too.
But I got the clear, the clear.
Oh yeah.
The clear.
Yeah,
It's
you
worth the
travel so
money.
much.
Clear. They're like, yeah, come on through it.
What's the flavor that you like?
Zesty mint, midnight.
Not just mint.
No,
Zesty mint.
zesty mint. You gotta have fresh breath.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of these wrestlers don't. They come in there with onions and this and that. But I want to make sure I have zesty mint. Vampires gotta have good breath.
The first time you heard the Brood entrance theme, what went through your mind?
Wow, I thought they stole it from the Toadies, Possum Kingdom.
Okay.
Well, nobody hears it but me.
Here, yeah.
Nobody hears it but me. But I know I gave them that music to listen to. So the first time I heard it was a dry rehearsal under the ring on a Sunday, like literally an hour before the show, and it kicked in. But I could hear the underlying things from like Possum Kingdom and the reverse masking and all the stuff they did in it. They just jammed some things up and slowed some things down. And again, I apologize. With the fangs, it's like a Gallagher zone. You're going to get splashed. Chris already knows. He's already.
It's okay.
You see him rolling like Mayweather.
Should have had that shield on.
Yeah, you should have came in with a full face shield on this deal. But I heard that. But then I got up. But then it kicked in, and then the fire. So I couldn't just hear the music. It was the fire. It was a combination of everything. And then it was like, oh, that was pretty cool. But it was like whatever. It was like super cool, but I was super nervous. But then when it happened in front of a live crowd, so that when the music would hit and you're down there in the elevator, you would already be swaying, and then you get up, the fire would go, you're like, ee! You're like, this is cool, and then you get up there and the people go, whoa, and then that rush, it was great. They for like 2 months they kept telling me, you can't be smiling when you come down the ramp. You're supposed to be a mean vampire. You're supposed to be this like creature of the night. I go, I am. And they go, oh, you come down the ramp and you're like, and then I would try. I would just try. I'd hold it through the elevator. I'd walk through the fire. They get halfway down the ramp. And, and then they finally, I think it was Bruce Pritchard, came back. All right, man, you're like a vampire that's happy. I don't know. You're a menacing vampire. Menacing smile. Because I couldn't stop smiling because it was just such a rush that it would all come together. Then when they put it together as the Brood, which was always the original pitch, it wasn't just me as a vampire. I wanted the Brood deal, like the Lost Boys, because I was a big fan of the Lost Boys.
Sure. And
that's what triggered me to wrestle as be a vampire, which I originally started out as Lestat, the vampire in Puerto Rico, and then became Vampire Warrior. Rest in peace, Frenchie Martin, Pierre Martel. He changed it to the Vampire Warrior, which evolved into Gangrel and WWF, or E, whatever you want.
Did you ever have a moment where the elevator got stuck halfway up, or you didn't go all the way?
I had a moment, all right.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, the first night, the Sunday Night Heat. If you watch it back, you'll see they clip away and come back. So we did one dry rehearsal, I said, right?
Okay.
Before the show,
Yeah.
first time ever, they said the elevator has a shimmy in it, right? Like a little, has a boom, boom, and it'll go up. Give it a second. Well, that dry rehearsal didn't have all this fog and the dark arena and all this other stuff and people there, So I get in there and the music goes and I can see the fire start going. I'm like, I don't know if it's me swaying, but I thought I felt the shimmy. I thought I felt the elevator do the thing. So I went to turn and step and go off. Well, it wasn't done. So my foot planted right in there as I was turning in between the elevator and the stage. So it shut, sling. So I'm stepped over in the flames going, ah! I'm holding the goblet.
Oh, man.
So they cut away when I'm going, ah! There's flames burning up around me, my foot. And that's why I ended up with when they got it down, I just hobbled to the ring. My foot was black and blue for months. That's where they all said, oh, that's a great vampire. That's a great swag you have when you walk. I go, no, that was just a hurt foot and a grizzled knee walk. So it's so I ended up getting that. That's how that started. It never changed. So I've been walking like that since.
Wow.
Yeah, because my foot was crushed and my knee was. I didn't tell my knee was hurt already.
Jeez. And the Brood was basically created as a vehicle to make Edge look like a star.
Absolutely, 100%. They told me from day one it was to help bring Edge in and get him around. Because what people don't realize is I've been wrestling 33 years this September. It'll be 33 years.
Congratulations,
and, thank
by
you.
the way.
87 I started. Thank you.
Yeah, 33 years. Wow.
And I started out, I went from, I was trained by Boris Malenko, and then I went to Stampede. And I trained in the dungeon for a while with the Hearts, and then there I went to All Japan, and then Puerto Rico, and then Memphis. But in between all that, Because the first thing I was told when I was breaking in was to get a passport. I've been in a room and they come in a room and look like this is a locker room and they're looking at everybody. They go, "Who's got a passport?" I go, "Good, kid. You want to go to Malaysia?" Yeah. It was like that back then, So I had the passport. So I did a lot of older tours with all the Rick Martel, all the different guys like that. So I knew all the older guys. And then plus, I was with Luna for like 18 years. So I met Luna when I was 18. She knew everybody. So I kind of like just knew everybody and kind of been around without being around. I was always, I guess, a journeyman, that guy, the fly on the wall. I was always there. So they knew I knew everybody. So they just said, "Hey, look, he's our future. We're strapping a rocket to his crotch, his
To his back?
To his back, his butt.
To his crotch, sure, whatever.
Well, rated R superstar, not X, I guess. But they knew he was their future. That was the deal. And it was just help him get in with everybody and help take care of him, don't get him hurt and stuff like that. So,
and how did Christian come into that then?
Edge brought him in, backdoor to me.
Okay.
I think that was supposed to be Chris Daniels' spot.
That's right, yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Edge, Chris Daniels,
And we're not
you.
promoting this. I just need energy.
You got vampire energy.
Not today. It's early. It's like
What-
1:21.
What was it? What was it about Edge
In the afternoon.
when you first met him, when you first saw him, that you went, yeah, like he's got
I don't.
it.
I think when I first met him, I chipped his tooth. Yeah, we worked on that. I think he was already under contract, and I was on a show, and they said, "Oh, this is Adam, whatever he's doing, sex and violence or something." But Christian wasn't there, but he did a singles, and I worked him in a singles, and I gave him one of those whatever and chipped his tooth or something. That's when I first met him. But he was a great guy then. He didn't have a problem about it or anything. He was like super. It was probably an accident. I don't think I've ever hurt anybody on purpose or anything like that. But first time I met him, and then. He just has a presence about him, Not that he's from Orangeville or Toronto or anything that Eastern Canada or anything like that, because
I know.
Fucking these Eastern
He's right.
Canada guys, But
He grew up half an hour from me.
Yeah, no, he was just a great human being. There's something special about him, There's a lot of people. You'll go through the world and meet a tremendous amount of people and shake a lot of hands, and then you'll meet a handful of people that are just really good people, and he's a really good person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you able to appreciate how cool the Attitude Era was when you were in the heart of the Attitude Era?
No, I never realized, and Luna used to tell me, she goes, one of the things I love about you is you don't even realize you're like a star, you're doing anything. She goes, you think you're just still, Hollywood, Florida, just working an indie show. You don't look at it like anything, because I didn't appreciate it. Now I do. Now I look back going, oh man, this is really cool. And I nothing against anything else on TV now. I put it back and forth. Like, oh, yeah. Like, really was different. But we weren't much different. But the way we ran matches, we would shoot for no reason. There was 1,000 reversals for no reason. So it wasn't much different in that sense. But everybody had a storyline and a character,
Yeah, that's the thing. Everybody, whether you were at the top of the card, middle of the card, or the bottom of the card,
But
everybody had a storyline.
And, everybody was, to be like a cruiserweight or something, you were like, you had to be like 220. I had to be a cruiserweight now.
Right.
Yeah, when I started in '87, they were like, "Oh, kid, you're just going to be a junior heavyweight. That's all you could be." I was like 230 pounds. Guys were monsters then. And then slowly pro wrestling evolved to pro wrestling entertainment and then whatnot. And as everything does, it kind of takes on its own thing as things go. But I believe in cycles because I believe wrestling's going to come back. I do, as much as I secretly like to have a glass of wine and watch Lucha Libre in my underwear.
In your underwear.
In my underwear. Yeah, Nacho Libre. But no, I love all the flips and this, that. People think I don't like them. I really, truly do like all the flips and flops. I just don't do the flips and flops. But having a school, I don't let them know that I like it, because then that's all they're going to want to do when I'm trying to teach them a foundation. I'm super glad if they can do the flips and flops and they have that athletic ability, as long as they have their foundation and their footwork to get there. Then they'll know where to be. They won't be running to catch a dive. They won't be looking awkward. Everybody's standing now. So they're going to be up better off, So, but I'm secretly do love all that.
Well, now that you have this school, Gangrel's Wrestling Asylum, how much has changed in the way that the fundamentals, what you're teaching people, how different is it from what you learned 33 years ago?
It's absolutely the same.
Wow.
It's absolutely the same. I was watching, it's funny because I watched back and I do a lot of cardio, so I'm on the elliptical. You got an hour to kill. So I watch old stuff. So I was thinking about, let me watch The Masked Superstar. And then, he came up under Malenko, right? Boris Malenko. So I go back and I go, wow, he's running the same basic matches I teach, you're here. So that's there. So now I teach that. Now, what might have changed, maybe, is psychology-wise. Like I don't believe in psychology is always. I do appreciate good versus evil when I can understand it, but I don't always preach that now. Now, first 6 months or first 3 months, I'm teaching them the good versus evil is baby face, fist forward, heels, hands back, right? I teach that the first few months. But as they move advanced and characters come along, then I teach, okay, it's more about characters and psychology. How do you, Chris Van Vliet is this character. I'm Gangrel, I'm this character.
Yeah.
How do I get Chris Van Vliet over without killing his character, but keep myself strong and get my character over, but tell a story that's here and there, and, so it's not necessarily, you're super, you're the bad villain and I'm the good guy, or vice versa.
Sure.
But it's about characters, but it's where you're going in the long run with an angle or on the card and everything. So, yeah. But I still like traditional stuff, but I don't hold to that, I'm not going to say the world revolves around that.
Sure. But learning the
Makes
fundamentals.
sense? Or did I confuse you?
No,
You look confused. You had that look.
No,
You had that look.
I just have a weird looking
You had
face.
that look when you talked to Vampiro, that look.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
You had a look. You gave me that look.
Is there vampire heat between you and Vampiro?
No.
Who's the real vampire here?
You ask him, he'll tell you he is.
Yeah, he thinks he's a vampire. Yeah.
I don't know. Kind of want to pick on him, but
That's fine. You have like the vampire, you have the neck bite.
these, yeah.
See
This
that?
is well, we didn't get wedding rings. When me and Luna got married, instead of getting wedding rings, we went out and got matching vampire bites on the neck.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get
On Halloween.
That's
Yeah, it was 10 years that just passed. It's the 27th that she's been gone. Yeah,
Wow.
10 years, yeah.
You have,
Rest in peace.
you have such a special relationship with her, even still to this day. Like even when you talk about her now, it's just like I can tell you still very much love Luna.
Oh, yeah, I do. I wouldn't be here today doing what I doing. She's the one that encouraged me to do the vampire character. Two, she just taught me the ropes, because she's been around. She's second generation, Her father was Butcher Vachon. Her uncle was Mad Dog Maurice Vachon. Her aunt was Vivian Vachon. Her aunt was married to Buddy Wolf. And so it's just a wrestling family of knowledge and stuff passed on. So she's passed me all that on. And she was married to Dick Slater, or with Dick Slater for a while. And then plus she worked Florida at a young age under Kevin Sullivan and Steve Kern. So the knowledge that was passed on to her, she's passing it on to me. It didn't necessarily helped me in some things. Sometimes it killed me, buried me. But sometimes you're better off just not knowing, better off just walking in instead of seeing the world for exactly what it is. But once I learned to appreciate that knowledge and use it the right way, it's turned out to be very valuable.
What's your best memory of Luna? When you think about her, what's the thing that comes to mind?
I don't know, man. So many things come on. I just hear her voice talking to me like this, trying to describe me as like using a screwdriver to cut roast beef. Chris Van Vliet, pain and pleasure go together, contributing to that ultimate bliss. And you are not my bliss. You are a pain in my head.
Wow. I feel like Luna was here for a second.
See that Gallagher spray zone? I
did see a little bit.
I wish
Wow.
No,
Wow.
yeah, I could do. Everybody says, "Can you do a promo?" No, I said I could do Luna promos because she did them all the time. While I sat there going, "There's a black card," or doing as a vampire.
Man, when you were, you just dropped so many incredible names that you had relationships with when you were coming into the business. What was the biggest piece of advice that you had as you were coming up, and who was it from?
Well, I'm going to also say, Luna, pen is mightier than a sword. Don't believe the hype.
Don't believe your own hype?
Yeah, I don't believe any hype they put on you, because especially if it's a pencil, they'll just erase it. Pen, they just scratch it out. But pen's mightier than a sword. All these guys, they tell you, they get in there, they get a push this and that, but it just takes one swing in the office of one other person, and it's just like, there we go, and it changes it, yeah. But, I took most of it in under Jake. He taught me a lot of things, promos and this and this and that. Yeah, over there. But he's also written on my hand when I tried to shake his hand. He's still the same old Jake, but he taught me a lot about, especially promos, that I never applied or understood till now. Now I apply a lot of his techniques and stuff that he taught me when we're in Puerto Rico together to my students when we're running promo classes and stuff like that.
Yeah, what makes Jake the Snake such a great promo? Because legendary, he's the best of all time.
he just draws you in. You can look at him now; he's going to draw you in. As he talks to you, he makes it very personal. You know, when he brings it in, he just draws you in. So on TV, he draws it in, and then he's taking lyrics out of songs, so people have heard before or somebody's connected to lyric quotes out of the Bible, different thing, and then he applies it to that situation. So now these things are familiar to you. You've heard these things here and there before, but now Jake is applying it to a situation he's involved in that you've been watching on TV. So and as he's talking to you, you think that he's talking to you, and you and you. Meanwhile, he's talking to everybody at home, but he draws you in and you personally go like, "Oh, that dude's heavy." Yeah. He's tremendous. One of the best promos there is. If not the best.
You talk about wrestling being cyclical. We're obviously in a really weird situation right now with COVID and everything that's going on. What do you think? How do you think it rebounds from this?
If you're a conspiracy theory guy, you think everything goes away in November, next year is normal. But I don't know. I'm scared. I'm afraid what you're seeing now with all sports and WWE is the virtual fans and stuff, that they may not go. Now, am I worried about it? No, because I think it's going to help me in the long run, because I think small shows and stuff like this are going to excel.
Sure.
And I think big arenas and stuff like that are going to not run as much, and they're going to cut the productions, or they're going to keep in-house residencies like the Thunderdome, right? They do this big residency. You can't move that from town to town to town.
Yeah.
It may become an event there for that place, or they'll build their own, something like that, because they realize they're getting by without fans from WWE's publicly traded stock. So they're going to say, why are we going to go backwards spending this money if we're holding here? So I worry about stuff like that, but I believe it's going to be good for independent wrestling and territories. I think they'll pop back up again. I think regional TV. This is my opinion. I don't have a fact finder and study, but this is what I believe. I believe things are cycles, and I believe wrestling's going to come back. And I'm working my best on it in South Florida to try to bring back a regional Florida wrestling. Like, we're moving to a bigger venue that we can tape in all the time. It's 5,000 square foot, as I was telling you. It's got 3 rings, but the 18-footer is going to stay up permanent. We got the LED lights already ordered for NXT on the poles and everything, and the lighting rigs.
Oh my gosh!
Trust.
That's a very professional independent company.
We're really looking at that to run TVs there, and I'm looking to pick little towns and go regional again and bring that back, because I think they're going to start neglecting all these people in live events, and then they're going to be outrageous ticket sales to get into what live events in that main city. I think they're going to cut it down. I don't think they're going to hit as many towns as they used to.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a big chance that it's going to be good for up and coming wrestlers and people like myself that have a wrestling school or trying to run events to come around. This is what I'm hoping.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't want to see the big venues go away. I'm not a, what do they call it, cinematography. I don't want to see. I wasn't a big fan of The Undertaker, AJ Styles, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I want to see
the cinematic matches.
I want to feel the crowd. I want the vibe of the crowd. I want to get the atmosphere. I want to smell the popcorn, stale beer in the arena, whatever. That's why I go to a live sporting events and all that. I love that feel. I don't want to miss it. Hockey, love it. Love it. I go to all the Panther games. I'm not even a Panthers fan. I'm a Red Wings fan. So.
Well, you're a hockey fan.
Yeah, I'm a hockey fan. But I love the live event. I don't think I want to sit home in front of my computer and look at it here going, hey, that's me on TV. We can all do that. I want to go to a live event and feel that event, just like everybody's here live for this. And I'd like to say thank you to all of you coming out here in Texas.
Thank you.
And
give yourselves a round of applause. Yeah.
Thank you. And working towards this, it's a big step in this time of the COVID and everything else, and to come out here and hopefully we get a good crowd tonight for the show. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming in early for this.
And we got about 5 minutes left here, so
Okay.
I'm going to open it up to you guys. If you have a question you want to ask Gangrel, we'll repeat it back into the mic. So shoot your hand up, and what you got?
What was it like working with the Undertaker with the Ministry?
So what was it like working with the Undertaker and the Ministry?
It was the death of the Brood.
Oh no,
Death of
touchy
the Brood.
subject here.
Yeah, it is a touchy subject. But no, in a sense, okay, yeah, great, you're here, the Ministry, right? The biggest evil faction there is, and you're the small group here, so you got the small group, the Brood, 3 of you, right? So I was against it, but I never spoke up or fought for my rights away. Edge thought it was cool, but I don't think he comprehended where it was going, because once you went to the Ministry, we went in the Ministry and they'd bring us all out on the stage, and they want that big heel reaction, that big boo. Well, they would boo first, but then you start hearing chants, Brood, 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 Brood. It takes over Brood. And I leaned over to Edge. I said, we won't be in the ministry long. What do you mean? I go, we're done. He goes, what do you mean? About 3 weeks later, they go, hey, we think we're going to break you up and feud the ministry. And then I go, and I told them, next step, Brood's done. So it was cool in a sense, but deep down inside, with the knowledge, like I told you earlier, I mentioned that Luna showed me worlds and angles and things that I wish you could get back, because it took away from me enjoying that moment that was there, because it should have been a great moment. I was already foreseeing the I want to say the butterfly effect, but I knew where it was going, so and exactly what happened. So, but it was cool. I mean, but I couldn't get past seeing where I knew everything was actually going to end up.
What's your name, by the way? Eric? Thank you, Eric. Anyone else have a question? Little man? Yeah, and what's your name, by the way? Jaden. So Jaden asks, what made you get into wrestling?
I thought I wanted to make some money and beat people up, to be honest. Wasn't quite that when I got there. It was a little bit more complicated than that. But, I see my fangs are loose. I didn't put the stuff in to hold them in, Jade. I broke my. I wanted. Believe it or not, people don't know this. Some people do. I wanted to play football and be a preacher. That was it. I gave sermons every other Sunday in church. When it came along, when I was playing Pop Warner football, they said, "What pro football team do you want to play for?" I said, "The Miami Hurricanes." Not the Horn, but the Hurricanes. So I just wanted to play football on that. But then I broke my neck when I was 13, and then I took a different path. So I missed out on all the sports and stuff, and I really, really missed it. And I actually saw an ad in the newspaper that said, become a pro wrestler. I was already living on my own. I moved out at like 15. I moved out on my own. I got myself in a lot of trouble and everything. I saw an ad to be a wrestler, and I thought, here's another chance of sports. I went down there, took a chance on it, and 33 years later, here I am, and it was the best chance I ever took.
Wow.
And I'm grateful for it. I owe wrestling everything. Wrestling owes me nothing, so that's why I do run schools, and I keep putting into them and want to build bigger things, because I want to give other people that might have been in that same spot I was, and a desperate time in my head and in my heart, my feeling I didn't have anything, or even kids like me that was in the streets and in trouble, another opportunity, because we're not all super like college smart and this and this and that. Some of us are just a little bit different and meant for something else. So if I could find those ones and guide them and turn caterpillars into butterflies and off they go, here we do it. That's it.
Thank you, Jaden. Yeah, what's your name? AC. What you got?
With today being like the internet age and there being outlets for so many different, you're able to watch multiple venues and multiple companies work. Who are some wrestlers that you would want to work with today?
So,
All over.
yeah. So, yeah, who would you want to work with today, basically? Because there's so much availability and accessibility now.
I think maybe Jungle Boy just once, even though he's small, because I met him when he first came in and all that. It was go see where he's coming. He came out of that. I have a special heart for a lot of guys out of that NorCal area that came out of there.
You and Darby Allen, I think, would be really interesting.
Darby, yeah, Darby would be cool.
Yeah.
I've already worked him once, but I want the revamped Hammerstone, Alexander Hammerstone. I want that Hammerstone now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Believe it or not, is Jacob Fatu. I trained him. But I'd like to have a heavyweight one-on-one with him somewhere online, because I know what I taught him, and I know where he was when I left him, right? Now he's here, he's gone here, he's got experience here. I'd like to get there and see what's going on with that there. Boom. Scorpio Sky. Look, Scorpio Sky. Yeah, Scorpio Sky. And Lance. I worked Lance, I think, once, but I'd like to get another chance at him when he's not beating me up. Yeah.
Thank you, AC. We'll take one more, and then Jazz is our next one.
What was it like working with the Hardyz back in Calgary, and how bad did you stretch?
And what's your name, by the way? Andy. So what was it like working with the Hearts? How bad did Stu stretch
you ever see Porky's? When he goes, he got the pig's tooth? Stu got mine.
Oh, wow.
Stu got my tooth. He never came down I went there I was like 220, 225 when I went there. Needless to say, I left at like 199 pounds. They trained the heck out of you in the dungeon. It was a lot of cardio, a lot of things. But it was a tremendous experience. Stu never came down in the basement when I was there. He got me at Sunday dinner. He came up and
What kind of dinner is that?
Yeah, exactly. And so I was there, and Stu was coming down the steps, and Stu Hart. I'm like, oh, hello, sir. He's like, come here, you big guy. You're the guy they're talking about. And
Oh my gosh, that'd be terrifying.
So he asked me what I was working with Bruce Hart that day, and he asked me what Bruce Hart was working on. I said, well, we were working on punches. Well, he used the word I'm not going to use about Bruce's punches, and it wasn't the S word, it was a P word. like punches like a whatever. So he comes over, he fish hooks me, turns me around like this. He's standing on the stairs. It takes his knuckle, and boom, catch me there. And I was like, ooh, good one. And he said, let's go eat. And then I was sitting there, and I knew it hurt, but didn't know the extent of it. The next morning, I woke up, and then it kind of took my tongue because I could feel it, pushed over, and the whole tooth came off. He sheared it off with the gum. So I never fixed it. That's a Stu Hart there. But he didn't get a body part, but he took the tooth. Stu got a tooth.
This has been such a pleasure hanging out with you. I hope you
always
guys enjoyed it as well. Give it up for the legendary Gangrel.
Always a pleasure with you, Chris, and all of you fans. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I just love that man. Love talking to Gangrel. And it made it that much better that we were able to do this in person. And then on top of that, being able to do this in person with other people around. To be able to hear that applause and the laughter, makes it so much better. And that's actually the plan moving forward. The plan is to do more of these in person, but with you there. So the plan is to go to whatever city, whatever town that we're in, and rent a theater there and do a live interview, and then a little Q&A afterwards, and then a meet and greet as well. So drop a comment below. Let me know if that's something that you'd be interested in. Obviously, our fingers are crossed that we'll be able to do that hopefully in 2021, right? Big thank you to the Independent Wrestling Expo for inviting me there to do, it was 3 live interviews that we did there. So you saw Jake the Snake. This is obviously the interview with Gangrel, and then another live interview with Jazz is coming up in the next week or so. And I will link to the first interview that I did with Gangrel, which is aptly titled, "He is the chillest wrestler of all time," right there. And you know what? He gave me an impaler DDT, and it hurt a lot because I took it wrong. That's right there, if you want to check that out and feel my pain.